Hey guys, what's going on? Skateboy here for another video. So this is gonna be my first actual real video. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's about the first time I ever got in a fight. With that, I hope you have a great day.
The truth.
Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you enjoyed the intro. I know I enjoy watching it personally. It's just really soothing to me. But with that, let's get straight into the time that I got in my first fight. So at the time, I was in sixth grade, straight out of fifth grade. We had quarters in this. So with the quarters, the way they worked is there would be with a teacher, with this group because we had 6 periods, right? So we had the same 6-period teachers, and all the teachers for 2 tries, and then we'd switch for the next 2 tries. Anyway, so at the time, I was really focused on school. I just stopped taking stuff to make me be really calm, and at the time, I was just really hyper. And so I'm not even gonna lie, I can understand why the kid wanted to slap me, but I'll get into that for a second. I looked like a potato with a side part. If you guys can imagine that, I was 5'3". I looked like I should get bullied. I'm not even gonna lie. I was really annoying at the time. I was, people messed with me a little bit because they're in 8th grade. And it was before COVID, so that was a lot more accepted at the time. But there was quarters. And so you'd have a teacher for 2 quarters, and then you get the next group of teachers in 2 quarters. And so this is I want to say 3rd quarter. So the first time with this teacher. And so I had some really, really, really ugly, I guess they weren't that ugly, but they were pretty bad Jordan 1 mids, okay? They were, you could tell that they were really, really short. And the only part that was red was the part that touched my heel. And the rest was white. Anyway, so at the time, this was right before, I want to say, winter break. And so a bunch of kids were acting up, right? They were acting up just because, winter break, everyone's excited before COVID. And I don't know if you guys went to school during this time, but everybody was really, really hyper. Everyone was messing around. Everyone was messing with teachers. No one cared. The teachers were just waiting for a break. They give a lot of leeway to kids because, it's almost winter break. So a couple kids got in trouble. Eventually, we found out, if you get OSS, that's what you want, right? Because you get an extra vacation, but you'll probably be grounded from your parents, and your parents will probably hate you for a little bit. So with that, eventually, I think 5 of my friends got in trouble, okay? I was like, oh, dang. And you have to get in a fight to get in trouble, right? This is not why I got in the fight with this kid. So eventually, I go to lunch. Okay, I'm in lunch. I'm eating my food. And I had my headphones in at the time, right? The teachers acted like phones were literal cancer. Okay, they absolutely hated it. It would have been better if I started vaping in the bathroom, okay? They'd be like, oh, well, it's okay. It's okay, he can do that. But nope, you can't even have headphones in. Because at the time, I didn't have AirPods because AirPods weren't really popular at this time. And no one really had them. So I just kept on, going with my day, eating my breadsticks or whatever, really bad food. I'm not going to lie, it looked like it could just move off the plate. And eventually, me and my friends, we went outside. And so there's tennis courts, right? There's tennis courts, 2 tennis courts. One's where the weird kids hang out, and the other ones where the athletic kids play and mess around. It's kind of like recess because you just have to wait for everyone else to eat because you have time in between your lunch. And sometimes you'd be able to walk the track. At the time, they wouldn't let us walk the track because there's a lot of bird poop on there, and they didn't want us tracking into the school. So eventually we started going inside. We go inside. I go to my 4th period class, which was ELA, and personally I hate ELA. I can't remember if I was in the SPED ELA or if I was in the regular ELA because I did take 2 classes because I failed my ELA test. Because I asked the teacher, hey, this doesn't matter if I do good or bad, right? She's like, oh no, it doesn't matter at all. So I was like, oh, sick, right? So I just start clicking random buttons, and then eventually the teacher's like, oh, it does matter, and I was like, what? And I was going to a SPED class, so I had to be in there for a couple weeks. And I was like, this really isn't that bad. I just show up. I just have to, do a couple things on the computer. And then I'm done with my day, because most of the kids were actually, really dumb in that class. Anyway, so back forward a little bit. And I'm in this class, and this teacher has a couple words, all over the window and stuff. And so we walk in, we're like, oh, I really don't want to do this. Because we had to do this, one every, 2 months. And so eventually, I was like, I absolutely hate doing this, right? I just want to be able to sit down, do my work, and then just sit down for the rest. and just keep my head down, maybe take a little nap if I want to. And so the teacher at the time, she didn't teach at all, okay? You let us, like, walk around the room, and you'd have to, like, write down what the words meant. Sometimes she'd ask us what our favorite songs were, and, like, we'd have to make, like, I think a rhyme to or something like that. I think we did that, like, the first day. And so, most of the time, she just played tic-tac-toe with her boyfriend at the time. I'm pretty sure they're divorced because they got married a while ago. Anyway, so we just had to walk around the class. We wrote down, we did the first part, and she's like, okay, everyone, do the other half of the room. And so at the time, I had to sit in the corner of the class, right? Just completely with the social outcast. No one liked them at all. Okay, not the teacher. The teacher hated, like, the 3 kids that sat by me because one was really loud and annoying. The other 2 were kind of emo, social outcasts, and I'm pretty sure they ended up dating. And everybody, like, they just looked at them and always gave them dirty looks. At the time, I was like, I'm just going to try to make the best of this. So I started talking to, like, the loud, annoying kid. And so he started getting more comfortable with me, right? I was like, okay, that's okay. I don't want to be his best friend, but if I see him in the hallway, says hi, I'll say hi to him back, right? If there's a weird kid, I want them to feel good at school, okay? I don't want to just sit there and bully them and stuff like that. If they don't feel welcome, I'm like, okay, I want everybody to feel good if I can, right? But if they're mean to me and someone slaps me, I'm done with that. Right, so this kid does, like, a little wrist slap to me because I say, like, a joke about him or about someone else. And I think he said something about the teacher. He had, like, a crush on him. And so, like, he hand slapped me. So I pushed him in the chair, right? He's leaning back, just waiting for me. His eyes are, like, almost as wide as cloud goggle glasses. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know what those are. But so I reach back. My hand is, like, 90 degrees away from his face. And, like, it's a 90-degree angle. I come back and slapped him as hard as I could. Okay, he looked at me, all of a sudden got mad, he pushes, like, the table away, he's about to jump on top of me, I'm about to, like, kick him, right, and the teacher freaks out, she says, everybody stop it now, and she, like, somehow, she pulled out a whistle from someplace, and she started whistling, she went, like, tweet, tweet, and so I look at her, I'm trying not to laugh, I'm still watching this kid, right, because, like, I'm my leg up a little bit, because I'm about to do a little Bruce Lee kick to him, and go for the 1-2 Mayweather, right, cut close, because at the time, I was about 5'2", and this kid's about 5'8", which is a pretty big difference, okay? Anyway, so eventually the teacher starts yelling. We walk into the hallway. She's, like, yelling to the dean, saying, these kids start cussing, they start fighting, and now they disrupted my class. And at the time, I made sure that everyone was safe, and that's why everybody's underneath the tables. Because she acted like it was an earthquake or something, or a school shooting, which I can understand, okay? So at this extent, I'm like, I don't like her at all. And so the teacher starts making up things to Dean. And me and her are just walking the hallway, like, both together. She's trying to, like, spread us apart. We're, like, both look at her and, like, it's okay. We're not mad at each other. We don't really care anymore. Okay? Because, like, I think that's the nice part about guys. We might get in a fight and all of a sudden chill with them. That's not how my other fights have gone. But, I'm already 3 for 3, or 3-0. And so me and him just start walking down the hallway. She's like, what happened? Like, oh, he slapped me. He's like, yeah, I did hit him. I just slapped him hard. I'm like, yeah, he didn't slap me super hard, but he still slapped me. So I slapped him back. She's like, okay, you shouldn't disrupt this, okay? And so at the time, I go to the office, and she's talking to me. I see the principal. I'm like, hi, Mr. What should I call him? I'm going to call him Mr. G Fuel. Hi, Mr. G Fuel, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing pretty good. So, this is your first time ever getting in trouble, okay? It was in self-defense. I understand that, but I do not want this to ever happen again. So I'm like, okay, it won't happen again. Which, at the time, I'm pretty sure I got in, like, 2 other fights. That, like, not that same school year, because in the 7th grade school year, I went with a bad group of kids. Anyway, so I kept on talking to him. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, okay, you're going to get half a day of suspension, okay? So I get, like, I think to my 3rd period class, I get lunch. And then I'm just sitting there eating, right? I'm like, oh, okay, because I have, like, a sheet with me that says I'm supposed to go do lunch attention for the last half of the day, right? Because they don't want me back in the ELA class. Because the other kid had, like, an OSS for, like, a day, and then he had to go back and he'd have, like, ISS for, like, the second half. And I could go back the second, like, half the second day. Anyway, so eventually what ended up happening is I just sit there, and I'm just sitting in there, and there's this one pool teacher. She's, like, kind of a grandma age, She's all nice. Everyone's talking. A couple of kids are on their phones. And I just remember there's this, like, sign, okay? I know it's kind of out of pocket, but there's a sign. I can tell when you're on your phone because no one looks down at their crotch and smiles. And I just looked at that whenever I got bored. I just kind of sat there. And I did like 4 assignments, and the rest of the time I was just sitting down there. I started talking to this girl to my right. She got in trouble. I'm pretty sure everyone in there was like in trouble for vaping or like smoking lettuce. Yeah, lettuce with mustard on it. I don't know why I said mustard, but anyway, she started doing that. Everyone else did that. And this is before like a bunch of kids started getting more like, you know, stereotypically bad kids like in high school. And eventually I'm just chilling there. I get out. I walk to like my sister's car. I'm like, hey, what up, dog? She's like, hey, how was it? I'm like, I was pretty sick. You know, I was pretty lit. I talked to the teacher for most of the day. And I just sat down. And I just organized most of the stuff. Because at the time, like the principal lady, everyone thought she was really mean. But she was pretty nice to me. Right? She helped me get organized a little bit. And she's like, okay, he's defending himself. There's a reason why he got in trouble. Anyway, with that, I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. With that, have a wonderful, extra, unordinary, fun, wild, conclusive day. And I hope the Bigfoot giant does not grab peanut butter and throw it at you. With that, have a great day.
Yeah. My dad used to say, whatever is whatever. Never may be never, but it's ever to keep.